Okay, the news reaching us is confirmation of a line that we brought you an hour ago, confirmation from Manchester United. A management transition, they call it. Richard Arnold has decided to step down as chief executive of Manchester United after 16 years with the club. Patrick Stewart, they say, will take over as interim CEO in addition to his existing role as general counsel, with Richard Arnold continuing to provide transitional support until the end of December. So that's only 6 weeks away. A statement from Manchester United continues that a search process will be carried out now for a new permanent CEO, and we've got some quotes as well from the club's executive co-chairman Joel Glazer, currently in talks over that investment, which we'll get onto shortly. He goes on to say, "I would like to thank Richard for his outstanding service to Manchester United over the past 16 years. We wish him all the best for his future endeavours. We are fortunate to be able to call on the deep knowledge and experience of Patrick Stewart to provide interim stability and continuity as we embark on a search for a new permanent chief executive officer." Richard Arnold, the outgoing CEO, has said it's been an incredible privilege to serve this great football club for 16 years through highs and lows. The constant has been the dedication of our employees and fans. I would like to thank all of them for their commitment and their loyalty and wish everyone associated with the club the very best for the future. And there's also quotes from the man coming in an interim role. Patrick Stewart says, "Together with my leadership team colleagues, my job will be to ensure the club's foundations remain stable while we embrace changes that can make us stronger over the long term, both on and off the pitch, and to support the search for a new permanent CEO." So that is the breaking news, just reaching us confirmation from Manchester United that it is all change at the very top of the club. We are still waiting for that investment. Big developments tell us what it really all means. Well, look, that statement from Manchester United talked about continuity and stability, but of course, there's been very little stability at United for a long time. The club has been in limbo for at least 12 months while the Glazers have been trying to decide whether to sell the club or whether to just sell a minority stake in the club. And we know that in the next few days, it's going to be announced that Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have bought a minority stake in the club. And apparently, that is going to give them a lot of influence over the football operations at Old Trafford, and I think Richard Arnold is going to be the first of quite a lot of high-profile people who are going to be leaving the club, and to be honest, he's had one of the hardest jobs in football. It is not easy running Manchester United at the moment. It is not easy working for the Glazers. He's had a pretty torrid time for 18 months. His background is in the commercial department. I think he was much more comfortable in that environment. So I think he'll be the first of quite a few changes that we will see over the next few days. I think whoever had bought the club, it was likely that people like Richard Arnold would probably be leaving. Yeah, so the interim solution is Patrick Stewart, who's already on the inside. So they're looking to what? Just keep things ticking over until we learn more. I think it's significant that he's been called interim. That means he's probably not going to be around for very long. If Jim Ratcliffe gets the kind of influence that we believe he is going to get, he will be able to maybe influence who is going to take that job on a full-time basis. There's been lots of talk that it could be somebody who already works for any of sport. Jean-Claude Blanc, who used to have senior executive roles at clubs like Juventus and PSG as well. But looking at it from the outside, this still looks like an almighty mess, because we're going to have a situation where somebody who only owns 25% of the club is apparently going to be calling the shots, and there is going to be a new football operations board. Dave Brailsford, somebody who's got a lot of experience in cycling, is apparently now going to be somebody who's also going to be calling the shots at Old Trafford. I think, it's going to be a fantastic story for journalists. But if you're a Manchester United supporter, this is not the brave new world that you wanted. You're not going to be seeing the back of the Glazers. It is more uncertainty, it is more turmoil, and it's more of the Glazers ultimately owning Manchester United. Jim Ratcliffe, we understand he's taking 25% and he wants to run the whole show, specifically the football side of things. How's that going to work in practice? It's very simple. If they're going for a player that's costing £100 million, £75 million of that is Glazer money, £25 million is Ratcliffe money. It may be that the Glazers concede that the football side they have let languish and they've not done enough with it. They don't know enough about football. Well, my worry there slightly, and I'm not anti-Jim Ratcliffe, but there's not much in Jim Ratcliffe records that says that he does either. Nice are not exactly the, runaway success in France. He owns Lausanne. Dave Brailsford is a brilliant manager of the cycling team. Well, cycling is not the same as football. So how it is going to play out I do not know, and for the fans, the biggest problem is that the Glazers still have 3/4 of the club. And when we talk about people that own football clubs, these are enormously valuable commodities, they're billionaires. How is it ever going to work when a billionaire at either side of the coin, whether it's Radcliffe or whether it's the Glazer family, ultimately have to be backseat drivers? Well, it's not because it's their money. And this is all about money, and if you're putting in a fortune or you're sitting on an asset that is worth the fortune and you're going to make very sure that it's protected. And what the Glazers have done all along is that they've built up the commercial side. The commercial side of Manchester United is an absolute powerhouse. It's incredible.